And I'm going to be going over how you can better help your life to be more positive, to be happier, to be more fulfilled in areas you feel like you have lost vision in and you struggle to actually see the positive in life. Or maybe it might be a random subject that I have been journaling about. Basically, I'm going to be doing hopefully daily videos on what I've been journaling about that day, what has come into my mind that I feel like has been important over the past week, that I feel like I need to talk about, to explain in the videos, that I can feel like that I feel like other people may need some help in or some advice in to better help them get over struggles of life. Or maybe it might be something positive and how you can keep it positive. Basically, it's going to be extremely random videos on what I've been journaling about. I don't really know what the video title will be, but all I know is that today we're going to be talking about positive affirmation. How you can be more positive in times where you are negative, how you can actually bring yourself to be more consistently positive. Because I feel like recently I found it very much an easy thing to be more positive. Maybe because I'm more disciplined, maybe because I've been more controlled over stopping negatives happen, to stop things that I feel like I shouldn't be doing, because I know I shouldn't be doing, because I've experienced the negative of it. I understand that I shouldn't be doing it, because I know for myself it's not a positive thing, because I know what my weaknesses are. I know what makes me happy. I know what makes me unhappy. And I've comprised that into a little journaling session about positive affirmation. Life is very hard to actually gain control over. That is what I found in the past year, months, etc. Like today, I've got a cold. I've definitely got a cold. I'm definitely ill. And I did not train this morning. I did not do my jiu-jitsu training this morning. And usually in the past weeks, I would actually be extremely annoyed because I'm not training. I should be training every day. I should be training double every day. Yet I've been coming to the realization more that although I'm not training this morning, although I'm not gaining progress, sometimes if you drive a car every day, if you do something every day, that is a task, that is a habit, you might not become the best at it. If you think about your parents, if you think about your grandparents, if you think about people in your life that have been doing something every day, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's driving, maybe it's cleaning, and you think about it and you scrutinize it, they are not professionals at doing that task, that habit that they've been doing every day for maybe half of their life. And when you properly think about it, it's very hard to forget that you are actually trying to be the best at something. You're actually trying to build on something, and yet you're actually not you're actually not that good at it compared to other people in the world. And you've actually been doing it every day, like driving. You see old people crash every day. You should be the best at it if you're doing it every day for maybe 50 years. And I don't mind losing a day of training because it can make me understand what I've been learning and better educate myself on what I can do better next time. Look at videos online of areas that I can improve and build on, and visualize areas that I've been struggling with to better help my development. Because sometimes you don't just have to drive to be good at driving, you should actually be visualizing you driving. So yeah, just be aware of getting trapped in the cycle of doing something that you aren't actually getting better at, and maybe reconsidering changing what you're doing in your life. So maybe you're working a job currently that you've been at for a long time and you're not happy at the job, you're not positive, you really feel like you shouldn't be doing it anymore. Was there a point in which you actually feel like you couldn't, you actually feel like you got to a point where you couldn't get any better at your job? Did you actually lose the purpose in your job? Is there a point where you have got to the point with your job that you feel like you can't do any better at it? You feel like it's time to move on. You feel like you should change your purpose. You feel like you should try and accomplish something else in your life. Why not do that? Why not try and start a new chapter in your life? Because you aren't going to get any more positive in your job, because you aren't going to see any more results. Things aren't going to change if you have actually realized that if it's a long period like that past year and you feel like you haven't seen any progress, consider your path in life. Consider trying something new which you actually could see more positivity in. You might regain your enjoyment and your love for something new. And this actually leads on to the first thing that I talked about. This actually leads on to the first thing that I was journaling about the other day, where I wrote, if you are constantly negative, time after time, how are you suddenly going to be positive? If you're positive all the time, how are you going to feel negative? So if you're in a situation where you are constantly being negative to yourself because you feel like something might just suddenly change, that's not going to happen, because life isn't going to just give you a quick positive to you. Life isn't going to give you a sudden positive. It doesn't work like that. It's not luck to be positive. You can reinforce your positivity by changing your perspective on negativity and actually seeing it as a positive circumstance, a positive situation, and just keep building on the positive that it will get better. Because if you wake up and you're negative, you are going to be negative again, because if you're negative once, you see more of a negative in the next scenario in your day, because you've experienced the negative of the previous scenario. It's going to be more easier for you to see the negative for the rest of the day than to see positivity. If you wake up and you're positive, on the other hand, it will be far easier to see the positive in the rest of the day, because you have set the parameter in the morning that to be positive is actually going to help you out. It's going to help your day. It's going to help you achieve your goal of the day. It's going to help you work harder, train harder, be more loving in that day. So reconsider what you see as a negative, what a negative actually is, and just affirm the fact that it can be a positive. All negatives can be converted into positives if you think of them in the right way. Let's move on to the next paragraph. If you are positive as soon as you wake up, which I just talked about, imagine how different your life will seem, which I just covered. Because if you're negative every day, if you keep being negative, you're wasting a lot of time where you aren't really helping yourself, and you aren't going to be remembering your days. If you are negative the whole day, not 24 hours, because you won't be awake the whole day. If you are negative for 12 hours in that day, do you feel like you're going to remember that day? Do you feel like other people are going to love that day because they saw you negative? When you interacted with people and you were negative, do you feel like you have left a positive reinforcement of yourself towards them, that you are a positive person? 100% no, because you have portrayed a negative self-image onto them. So just imagine that. Imagine walking down the street and you're thinking negative. Is that not going to portray onto your self-image, your character, your posture, your facial expression? 100%. So just consider the perspective that you have on your negativity. If you're positive, next paragraph. If you are positive towards the want and the development from pain, you will be unstoppable, but you're not. If you are positive towards cut that. So if you are positive towards the want of pain, if you develop yourself to actually want pain, because you know that if you are living or experiencing pain in your life, I don't mean pain as in pain towards death or similar circumstances. I mean pain which can actually develop you, which can make you stronger. Maybe it is a little bit of physical pain that you experience. Maybe you're a kickboxer, maybe you train kickboxing or Muay Thai or MMA, and you get punched a lot that day. You might actually feel better after training because you have you have realized that day that you have learnt a lot from that round that you did. Maybe you realize that you got hit 5 times in that session, hard hits, and it comes to your realization that doing that round there may have actually helped you to win your next fight, because that round may actually be harder than your fight. So you can replay that round in future training to develop you, to make you stronger. And that pain will give you more grit and determination to actually want to do better in situations which didn't go well. Maybe you talked to a woman that you found attractive, but you actually got rejected. Are you just going to stop talking to women because of that one scenario? Or is that pain going to develop you? Or is it going to give you a grit to actually make you work harder in yourself to make you more attractive, to make you more appealing to women? So when you next encounter a situation like that, they might be more attracted to you, and they might be more inclined to want to actually know you more, to want to actually see this masculine, attractive guy that they may have rejected if they weren't as attractive as you were on that day. And this example or this scenario is such a beautiful part of life that makes it so brilliant, that makes life so great, because this happens to everyone. Hopefully this will happen to most people who are watching this video, who experience negative in their life, but they see the negative as a positive reinforcement to actually want to work harder to change that negative that happened into a future positive that will change their life, that will make their life 10 times better because they experienced that negative. If they didn't experience that negative situation, they would never have changed their life to make that positive happen. And that is the main point that I want to make in this video. If you are being negative, if you're going through a negative circle, a spiral, there is always room to be positive, because if you are constantly negative, you're constantly going through negatives and you're constantly being negative towards the negative, you are leaving yourself no room to be positive towards the future. Because I'll let you know now that your life will change and you will find positive in your life, because something might happen in your life that actually snaps you into a place where you have a big determination to want to be more positive, because you got to the point of being negative that made you determinated, that gave you a determination to actually want to be the opposite, to be excellent, to be brilliant. And I am going to leave the video on that, because that is all that I writ the other day. So I hope you learned a lot from that. I actually writ a bit more, which was understand what you want and understand what you want, and understand most enjoyment is grit, up until the point your grit has paid off. I think that is extremely powerful. And I'm going to leave this this little video on that. I'm going to repeat it. Understand what you want and understand most enjoyment is grit up until the point your grit has paid off. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm hoping that if you only take one thing out of this video, it is that you will be more positive to the fact that positive will come in your life. And if you're constantly negative, you are leaving yourself no room to actually be positive. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a comment because I want to see what people think of the video, the structure of the video. I have been thinking about making these sort of videos for a while, and I really feel like they're gonna pay off. Maybe I don't really want to be a big YouTuber. I want to help people more than I want to be big. I'd rather have a small amount of followers, but be able to coach people that want my help. And if you do want my help in other things you want to hear me talk about, leave it in the comment below. You can always message me on Instagram, or even in the comments you can message me. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Have a good rest of your day. Peace out.